and welcome. You're watching NewsX Deep Dive. A brutal murder has shocked the national capital. A woman, a house help, who had served a family for more than 15 years was killed in cold blood by the very man she worked for. But the shocker is that the accused is not a hard criminal. He is a doctor, a highly educated professional. Investigators say a troubling mix of deteriorating mental health, deep-seated suspicions and violent thoughts may have culminated in a crime that has left Delhi stunned. How did a routine morning turn into a scene of unspeakable horror? What drove a doctor to allegedly kill his longtime house help? And what has the investigation revealed so far? Let's take a closer look at the shocking murder that has unfolded in South Delhi's Mount Kailash. It was an unusual morning, or it was rather a usual morning for the Gupta family on 18th June. The house help of Gupta family had arrived in the morning. Just like every other morning, she did not know what was lying ahead. Meena, a 45-year-old domestic help who had been working with the family for over 15 years, had reported for duty at the usual time at the Mount Kailash residence of dermatologist Dr. Manish Gupta. Around 10:30 in the morning, she went to the terrace to hang clothes. Investigators say Dr. Manish Gupta followed her to the terrace. What happened next would shock even seasoned investigators. Police say the doctor attacked Meena with a cricket bat. He allegedly struck her repeatedly, leaving her defenseless. The assault did not stop there. Investigators say that he then used a knife to stab her, slit her throat. No one knew anything about it. But the horrifying scene came to light when people in the neighborhood building spotted a woman lying in a pool of blood on the terrace. They immediately alerted the police. When officers reached the house, they found Meena dead. They also found the accused doctor sitting on the staircase close to the crime scene. According to police sources, Dr. Gupta offered no resistance. In fact, investigations claim that he was in a complete state of shock or detachment and repeatedly told officers to hang him. He also refused to engage in any detailed explanation of the scene. The murder weapon, a cricket bat, and a knife were recovered from the spot. Forensics teams later sealed the terrace area and began collecting blood samples, fingerprints and other physical evidence. Dr. Manish Gupta was taken into custody and a murder case was registered. But the big question remained, why would a doctor commit such a savage crime? As the investigation progressed, police unearthed disturbing details. Family members reported that the doctor had been suffering from depression and mental health issues for some time. Investigations also found that he had developed suspicions about his own house help. Sources say he believed Meena was practicing black magic. Police officials claim that there is no evidence to support the argument. These claims, according to authorities, appear to be part of a wider pattern of delusional thinking that may have developed over time. There were also frequent arguments within the family over whether she should continue working in the house. Deputy Commissioner of Police Hemant Tiwari told the media outlet that Gupta had recently argued with his wife, an Ayurvedic practitioner, over removing the domestic help from their home. Police claim the accused had been experiencing violent thoughts in the days leading up to the killing. Officers are now examining whether his mental condition played a role in the murder. Experts will assess whether the accused showed signs of psychotic break or severe depression that could have impaired his judgment. However, investigators have made it clear that the probe is still underway and all motives are being verified. On June 20th, a Delhi High Court sent the accused doctor to police custody for further questioning. Forensic teams have examined the crime scene. Police are also analyzing electronic devices, medical records and statements of the family members. Meanwhile, neighbors have reported being shocked, saying that the family was generally quiet and the victim was known to be a regular, polite and dedicated to the work that she used to do. Many residents say nothing about the household ever indicated such a violent possibility. The killing has once again sparked a debate about mental health, early interventions, and the dangers of untreated psychological distress. A woman who served her family for 15 years lost her life in a brutal act of violence. An educated professional now stands accused of a crime that has shocked the entire nation. The investigation continues and many questions are still waiting for answers. Let's take this conversation across to Mr. Kapil Kakkar, psychologist who joins us on the broadcast. Sir, we've just broken down what happened and the way in which this doctor said that, look, take me, hang me, I have done it. What does that tell us about the mental state of the accused at the moment?
Well, whatever I have read so far and heard from you, it looks to be a case of psychosis or maybe a personality disorder that once the intervention is done, then only one would be able to conclude. And when and obviously he had these violent these thoughts coming to him for quite some time, is what I understand. And I also read somewhere he had OCD, and like you also pointed out, that he wanted the maid to leave, which his wife was reluctant to. So when someone is under the influence of psychosis, there's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of suspicion, and the person primarily thinks that people around them or him are hostile. And in fact, that was one of the reasons he was in fact contemplating, and he wanted to kind of, he was thinking whether he should be killing his wife or whether he should be killing himself or his son. So when these thoughts were perpetuating in his mind, and it seems they were doing it, that the thoughts were there for quite some time. However, to my mind, apart from mental illness, he may have been skipping his medication, because since he was skipping his medication and he also had OCD, so that is another thing to look into, that when he was not taking his medication is when such things get aggravated. And all these triggers, he had been warning his wife, and when he was suggesting to his wife he does not want the maid around, etc., for for a couple of days or weeks, that was a signal that there was something which was extremely disturbing happening in his head. So now what happens normally is people like these, they don't have control over themselves. They are not able to reason out themselves, and since at times they get so obsessed with it that they kind of lose themselves very badly. And I think this is what has happened, that this is something that he would have been thinking about him, that if maid is not kicked out of the house, what are the other alternatives he has, and all these thought processes keep visiting such people. And eventually when he got into I'm sure there would have been some trigger on that day or on that morning or evening, whatever it was, that he got into this ghastly act.
Right, absolutely, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us and to be with us to take this very important conversation forward. We're going to leave it there and slip into a very short break. Thanks for watching.